What's up, everybody? It's the Digital World Podcast. And let's get into this because right now it's a very interesting dynamic what you're seeing in the market. And we're going to get into those details because I think you need to know this and kind of be prepared because the warning signs are there. And so let's just jump right in. Okay, world nominal GDP and nominal public debt. So you can see here we have, Germany, France, Italy, Spain. These might be the G7 nations, if I'm not mistaken. But anyways, you can see Germany. It's basically written in their, from the hyperinflation that they experienced back during, the Weimar Germany times. They're very sensitive to any kind of rise in inflation. So you see they're pretty spot on with their debt and GDP. You see any other nation has absolutely just skyrocketed in their debt. And we're right there with them. See the U.S., see Canada, U.K., Spain had just exorbitant amounts of public debt, and that doesn't end well. Never does. And when I look at a chart like this, it makes me wonder because the debtor is servant to the lender, and the popular saying from the World Economic Forum that says you'll owe nothing and you be happy. So how do you accomplish that? How do you get there, right? And I think you make it so expensive to own that people just don't have the ability to buy it. So they'll become a renter nation. And what do you see now? And I'll show you in a chart how expensive it is to own a home versus rent. And even rents are expensive, but it's just cheaper to do it than to buy a home. And people who are renting will never be able to save up enough money to even be able to buy a home. So it's this death spiral cycle, and I think we're headed towards a very, very interesting point in time that we need to all be prepared. But we'll get there. I want you to listen to this because I think that the fact that you are not able to buy a home, it changes the dynamics of society. And just listen here, and I think you'll learn a lot from this one video.
I've been seeing a lot of videos on Instagram and TikTok of people talking about the cost of housing being out of control, the cost of rent being out of control. Now, I'm all about the bullshit and the laughs and giggles, but check it. You're talking to a very accomplished real estate broker. I'm a broker in 17 states, and I actually represented Fannie Mae during this infamous real estate crash for the state of Georgia. The exact person that you can blame, if you want to blame somebody, for the housing situation being messed up, I'll give you a hint. You probably got a bedazzled t-shirt with his face all over it. Now, it was Barack Obama. Now, am I a Republican? No. Am I a Trump supporter? No. But do I have information? Do I have first-hand accounts of what went on? Oh, yes, I do. So stay tuned. During the infamous housing crash, there was a thing called the Protecting Tenants Under Foreclosure Act. If you were in a property and you were renting it, you were able to stay in that property. If you were a homeowner and you lost a property, you were allowed to rent that property and be able to stay there, ironically, for about 2 or 3 years so that you could get yourself together. So if you were one of the 8,000 homes, you probably had me come to the property and negotiate a rent with you and manage the property while you were there. Now, in a lot of instances, these tenants and sometimes these homeowners, after a year or two, were able to gather their finances and they were able to want to purchase the property. That sounds logical. So after about a few hundred offers would always be denied, I'm on a conference call and I ask and I inquire, why are we not allowing these people to buy their homes that they've been living in? Like, why are we doing that? You want to know what I was told? By Fannie Mae. I was told that they have direct instructions to not do that. And so, do you want to know what happened sometime later? They were pooling these properties in pool sales, and you had to have between 10 and 50 million dollars in escrow in order to bid on a house that somebody was living in that was 60,000, even though that family were offering 60,000 cash to buy their home. But who would have that type of money, Summer? Who would have that type of money? Because it ain't nobody up here in the A. Oh, I'll tell you who had it, because I represented them. China, South Africa, Australia, hedge funds from outside entities. I had no idea that America was for sale. And the Obama administration totally is the one that put it on the market. And I said, this is going to harm Americans. Like, why do you not want Americans to be able to buy this property at these low rates? And I also was told, because if you have a father who makes good money and his wife, the mother, makes good money, and they're not paying high prices for where they live, and they're saving money, and now they are opening businesses, and now the wife's not working, taking care of the family, it changes the dynamic and the course of how America is built, and we don't want that. So basically, you want people to stay in debt, and you want them to pay these exorbitant prices. This was all by design, y'all. By design. So anyone that listened to me during that time, think back, stitch this video. If you was one of them people, I told everybody, there is something up. Will you please buy whatever property you can? I don't even care if you like the bitch. Buy it. I did the same thing. I bought a house for $100,000 and it's worth $415 today. It's not even the normal rate of inflation. So I was right that something was amiss. So ask yourself, did you know that about 30% of real estate is owned by outside entities, these hedge funds? The reason why you can't find a house is because they're coming in with 30, 40, 50,000 over asking price with cash, and you can't find a house? You never ask yourself, why did the housing market, why did a basic dusty ass trap house go from 100,000 to 300,000 overnight? You think that was an accident? And stop with the bullshit that the market's getting ready to go back. It's not going back, because before it was in our control. Now we got it's in big business control. The market's not going back. So if you missed knowing me during that time, I'm sorry. So again, you can thank the Obama administration for your high rent and your high housing prices, because once they bought it for $60,000 and the rent went from a one bedroom in Atlanta was around $800 and now it's $1,500, and some business owners in Australia and South Africa, you paying for their luxury. You could thank Obama for that, okay? That was him. He was your color, but not your kind. Now, I voted for.
All right. Anyways, so I thought it was a very interesting video, and I think because you hear a lot of people who experienced the last housing crash say, "Oh, I'm waiting for it so I can scoop up a piece of property." Crises aren't created equal, and they're all different. And I don't think that'll be the case, because you see a lot of big conglomerates buying up a lot of housing. I think what you might see is you're going to see, I don't know. No one knows what's going to happen. But I don't think you're going to be seeing those prices come down. I think it's just going to go on the up and up, and it's going to become unaffordable. And they want the dynamics that they're pushing for is, the big powers. By they, I mean, whoever's part of the World Economic Forum, all those elite groups, they want more control. And I think where we're headed is going to be, this is what we've been talking on the channel for since the inception. And so here, this is this chart I want to show you guys. The cost to buy a home is now 50% higher than the cost to rent. This is a record premium since 96. Even during the 2006 housing bubble, this metric peaked at 33. So, like she said, she bought a home for 100. It's now 415, which is 3x, which is a lot higher than the rate of inflation. It's pricing people out. Okay. This rally had nothing to do with net liquidity. This was a rally fueled by a Fed pause and peak duration issuance by the Treasury. And so here he's replying to this saying this is a pause rally, a time-honored late cycle tradition. And what happens is when you're at the end stages of a cycle, there's a rally that happens. And here he explains the pause rally is on. The average Fed pause rally to cycle peak is about 29%. Distance from the October low when the current rally began to the full 4.236 Fib extension off a 24-year cycle since the tech bubble's about 27%. So right now you see the market's taking off. However, on average, it's a 29% rally. And here, I'm going to be closely monitoring these indexes from that market bottom where the rally began, and I'm going to do an average. I'm going to take the fib, see where it lands, and see where, watch it closely. Because people are thinking, oh, the Fed has done it. We're going to achieve a soft landing. Are we? So these are the late cycle stages. We need to be prepared. Get ready. So thank you for watching. I hope this video was informative. Like and subscribe to the channel. Share this video. Thank you for watching. This is the Digital World Podcast, and I'll see you in the next episode.